Okay, hello everybody. Good evening. We are going to start with our class. So tell me, how are you today?
Good evening, teacher. Good, and you?
Good. That's fine, Abigail. Well, I am doing great today. Thank you for asking. I'm happy to start a new week and another class. What about Abel, Katia, Evelyn, Adelina? How are you today?
Hi,
Evening,
Mr.
teacher.
Good evening.
Good evening. Welcome, guys, to our class. Thank you for coming on time. I don't know what happened to most of your classmates because it's time and they are not coming yet. Well, some of them are joining right now. So I hope everybody, all of us can, all of them can come and all of us can participate and practice in today's class. Guys, thank you for coming on time. Let's start with our activities. Let me share my screen with you. And now, everybody, I want to start this class talking about the following question, or well, discussing the following question. Let me ask you guys, do you know about Salvadorian culture? Or, well, the best question could be, what do you know about Salvadorian culture? I would like to listen to Abel. We will start with Abel's opinion. Well, Abel, hello. Tell me, what do you know about Salvadorian culture?
Eh, I think we are very traditional in um, countrysides, festivities, patrons, pat patrones. And we are some religious, I think, in Catholic Church. But there's another religions, and we are a happy people, I think. And we can demonstrate that in all other days, and that's like and we have some cultures that are miniature in minoria, um like lencas, but they are not visible. They are not visible. That's it.
Okay. Okay, thank you for sharing with us, Abel, some of your points about our culture. You mentioned important things. We will speak about them at the end, but at the end of this activity. But I would like to hear another person. What about Katia? Katia, hello. What can you tell me about Salvadoran culture?
Hello, good evening. Well, what I really love about our culture is about the traditional food because I think we are very special, most because we are, or it's very common for Salvadoran people to eat the national flower, which it's, I don't know, like different if you compare with other countries. Also, I think we have um, very good places, and the best part of our country is that you can visit any places in one day because it's a small country and it's easier for us to travel throughout the country and see the beaches or the mountains or the city. And I really love that. And that's it, I think.
Okay, that's another great opinion. Thank you, Katia. You mentioned very important points, same as Abel. He also mentioned some other important things about our country, and they are really, really important. So thank you. We will continue talking about that in a moment, but I want to hear Adelina. Hello, Adelina. Tell me, what do you know about Salvadorian culture?
Hello, teacher. Good evening.
Good evening.
Um, I know about Salvadorian culture. specific in Aguachapán. em, de la fiesta de los farolitos,
Okay.
where every September 7th is the traditional fiesta de los farolitos. Takes place in Aguachapán. A celebration consists of the faithful placing in their homes or trees. No sé cómo se dice farolitos en inglés, teacher.
Farolitos, that's a good question. Let me look for that right now because I don't
Okay,
remember.
farol.
I guess it's lights, but I think there is a more specific word.
Okay.
Okay.
Made with bamboo or madera. No sé.
Okay. Okay. Well, you can say
Only that.
lanterns. Lanterns, farolitos.
Okay. Okay, lanterns.
Okay. Well, you're talking. Continue.
Only that, teacher.
Well, that's a great point. Where you speak about a specific activity or festival we have in El Salvador, the Lanterns Festival, which is celebrated, as you mentioned, in Aguachapan and also in some places in Sonsonate, I guess. Okay, and it's a very important celebration. I'm really glad to hear that because last week it was celebrated that festival. It's pretty good. Thank you, Adelina. I want to hear one more person. So let's see, everybody pay attention to Armando. Armando, hello, good evening. Tell me, what do you know about Salvadorian culture?
Good evening, teacher. I take about a question. I take about a specific traditional or about culture in general.
Oh, well, in this case, you can tell me in general. Okay, we are talking about Salvadorian culture in general.
Oh, okay. For me, the Salvadorian culture is a mixes about different cultures that Spain and this moment the Salvadorian culture is the traditional is the people lost because the internet had a responsibility in this because the people don't respect the tradition, don't insert in the traditional of the country, and only the people in this country imitate culture about in another countries. The culture in this week is very important. It's very important because it's a national day. But some people I don't have they have anything idea about this the significator the for example 15 September 15 is when this day is the birthday the nation, but the people don't live the tradition. People don't respect the símbolos patrios.
Oh, maybe you can say national symbols.
National symbol, yes, okay. But in this moment, the younger people is is very, very influencing because for another culture, and with I it's responsibility for the fathers and the school. Think about the of the tradition this country. I think, teacher.
Okay, that was a good opinion, Armando. Thank you for sharing with us. Guys, I really appreciate your opinions. I could hear Abel, Katia, Delina, and Armando. I hope I can listen to the others in the next activity. So I just want to take some points that you mentioned, guys, and is that, well, first of all, the fact of different things that compound our culture. For example, as you mentioned, the festivals, traditions, festivities, touristic places that also has been part of also have been part of history, right? Because, well, if you talk about, well, I don't know, if you talk about our like our old places, for example, Joya de Serén, for example, San Andres, Casablanca, if you talk about those places, remember that those places nowadays, we could say that they are touristic, they are historical places here in El Salvador too. If we talk about some other touristic places like El Boquerón, you know that El Boquerón, it was a volcano, it is still a volcano, but it's not active nowadays. However, you know that in El Boquerón, there were many things, many actions that happened in the past. If you go to La Palma, so there are many places, guys, that even though they are touristic nowadays, in the past, they were historical and important places. Another important thing was the fact that, well, we have traditional food, we have traditional music. So there are many things that are part of our culture. However, as Armando said, nowadays culture is getting lost. Why? Because many people don't respect our traditions. I don't remember if it was Katia or who was the person who said it. I think it was Katia, that she mentioned, or someone mentioned, about people who eat the national flower, right? The isote flower. So that's something different that we live in our country, even though it's a respect. It's something we have to respect a lot. Some people eat it, okay, in different ways, but it's also part of our culture, right? And also, as Armando said, many people is trying to imitate some other traditions that other people live, or other people are part of these traditions or actions, right? Or the other kind of cultures. Because if we talk about our culture, guys, something I want to mention, you know that here in El Salvador there was a dialect that was spoken a lot of years ago, right? Many years ago, and it was Nahuatl. Not all people can speak Nahuatl. I could say that even most of us can't speak Nahuatl, but it is part of our culture, something that was getting lost before maybe we went to school, or before some other things happened. In our case, what we can do, everybody, is to try to respect our culture and try to continue with some of the traditions that we already know and the ones we can be part of. For example, if you live in Aguachapan, so you can be part of the Lanterns Festival, which was celebrated last week. Or in this case, if you have the time and you have the opportunity to be part of September 15th activities, try to be part of them, right? Try to participate and also to remember the meaning of those celebrations. As Armando said, they are important, even though we don't go to parades, or even though we don't play any instrument in a marching brass band, even though they are try to be part of some of those celebrations, or at least try to respect what we have in our history, right? Thank you for your opinions, guys, about our culture, our Salvadorian culture. Now, everybody, I would like to continue with today's activities. Remember, today we finished with Unit 3. Last week, on Wednesday and Thursday, we studied some important topics from or of Unit 3. They were passive voice and also participle adjectives. Today, everybody, we will try to practice a little bit the use of passive voice, okay? In this opportunity, guys, let's check some of the differences we have in active voice and also in passive voice. And after that, guys, we will try to make a short practice about this topic. So to start with this, I would like to hear Evelyn reading the active voice examples, okay? Right now, Evelyn, can you help me reading the active voice examples?
Okay, teacher. Active voice. The structure. Subject plus verb plus object. In a sentence, Rina gave me the book.
Very good, thank you. Guys, let me tell you, or in a short review, guys, remember that the active voice is the way we learn grammar when we start learning English, okay? Remember, if you are talking about an example or a sentence in simple present, you know that you have the subject, verb, and complement, or in this case, object. If you have a sentence in present continuous, you know that the structure is subject, verb to be, verb in ing, and the complement or the object. And in this case, guys, we have an example in simple past. Again, the structure is subject, verb in past, and then the object, right? In this case, we have that example in the normal way we learned grammar. Rina gave me the book, okay? Subject, verb, and complement. Now, let's check the structure of passive voice, which is also important. So right now, I would like to listen to Mitzi. Mitzi, can you help me reading a passive voice?
Okay, teacher. Passive voice. Verb to be plus verb in past participle. Object plus verb plus by plus subject. Example. The book was given to me by Rina.
Thank you. Well, I just want to check this, everybody. Remember that the first part of the sentence in passive voice is the object, okay? Then, after the object, we have the verb. Over here, guys, I want to clarify something important. In this verb part, we have to use two different verbs. First of all, guys, we have to use the verb to be depending on the grammar tense. We created example in active voice, or we want to say the example in active voice. For example, this example about Rina in active voice is in simple past, as I told you before. Because of that, we have to use, everybody, the verb to be in past. The two forms of the verb to be in past are was and were. So we have to use them in past in this example, right? Then we have to use a verb in past participle. Remember, the verbs in past participle are all the verbs we use in the perfect tenses. Present perfect and also past perfect and also future perfect. So all those verbs we use in perfect tenses are the ones we are going to use in passive voice sentences. After that, everybody, after the verb to be and the verb in past participle, we have to use by plus the subject. Okay, by plus subject. Remember, guys, some information I gave you in our Wednesday's class was that in some cases, the subject is optional, okay? In some cases, if we don't have to clarify something, if the information is not needed, it's optional to mention who is the subject or who is the doer of the action. Remember, the main focus of the sentence, it's in the action. For example, the book was given to me. Does the sentence make sense? What do you think, David? Does the sentence, the book was given to me, make sense? Yes or no?
Sorry, teacher, repeat, please.
Yes, of course. Does the sentence, the book was given to me, does it make sense or not?
The correct sentences is
Is that sentence correct? Yes or no?
no,
Why not?
because need the by Rina
Is it necessary or is optional?
is optional.
It's optional. So in that way, is the sentence, the book was given to me, is that correct or not?
In this case, is correct.
Ah, very good. The sentence is correct. If I use by Rina or not, it doesn't matter. Remember, the important thing or the focus of the sentence is not on the person who does the action. It's not in the agent. The focus is on the action. The book was given to me. And that sentence makes sense, right? If you want to use by Rina, it's okay. It depends on you, right? But remember, the main focus of the sentence is on the action. Right now, do you have any question about this topic, something that is not clear for you? Something I can help you with this topic?
No, teacher.
No, everything's
For
clear?
It's okay.
It's okay. Okay, very good. Well, guys, if everything is okay with this topic, with this activity, guys, I would like to practice with you with some activities. Right now, just let me open the activities. Okay, right now, guys, I would like to identify sentences. Remember the two structures, okay? If we have a sentence in active voice, the structure is, or the basic structure is subject, verb, and object. But if we have a sentence in a passive voice, remember, the order is different. The order is, or the structure is object plus verb to be plus verb in past participle plus by plus the subject, right? Okay, in this opportunity, I would like to practice with the following sentences. Let's identify, guys, if the sentences are inactive or passive voice. Look at this, everybody. The instructions are decide whether the sentences are written in active or passive. Okay, in this opportunity, we have 10 sentences. I would like to know what is the correct form, if they are active or passive. First of all, we have boys like to play soccer. Please, guys, write on the chat letter A if it is active, or letter C, letter P if it is passive, okay? So letter A if it is active, letter P if it is passive. Please write on the chat your answer. You have 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, very good. Let's see. Right now, I have okay, everybody has the same answer. It means, everybody, that the sentence is inactive, boys. Very good. Let's move to example number 2. I want to hear some of your classmates. So we will start with Abigail, okay? Hello, Abigail. Tell me example number 2. Please read the sentence and then tell me if it is active or passive. Go ahead.
This room has been painted blue. Active voice.
Active voice. Okay. Thank you for your answer, Abigail. We will check in a moment, okay, all examples. So thank you, Abigail. Now, I want to hear Melissa. Melissa, can you tell me, can you read example number 3?
Yes. Cricket is played in Australia.
Now, is it active or passive?
Active.
Active. Okay, thank you. Let's continue right now. And please, guys, pay attention to Evelyn. Evelyn, example 4.
I am given a book. It is passive.
Okay, thank you. That was great. I am given a book. Okay, so thank you, Evelyn, for your answer. Now, guys, we will continue with example 5. I want to hear Luis. Luis Molina. Please read example 5 and tell me, is it passive or active?
Okay, we have lost our keys. Oh, passive?
Okay, this is passive. Thank you. Well, we will continue right now. And please, guys, pay attention to Jose Alfredo. Tell me, Jose Alfredo, example 7. Please read and tell me active or passive.
Okay, teacher.
Jose, your microphone is off. Hello, Jose.
Can you hear me, teacher?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay. You might see the dolphin here.
Is it active or passive?
It's passive, teacher.
Passive, okay. Thank you for your effort. Let's move to example 7, please, Katia. Tell me what's the correct answer in example 7.
It is passive.
Okay, let me see. What is the sentence? Can you read the sentence?
The report must be completed by next Friday.
Okay, thank you. Now, we will continue with Abel. Okay, Abel, tell me example 8. Please read the sentence and tell me if it is active or passive.
Sorry, they were singing a song in the lesson yesterday. It's active.
It's active. Okay, thank you. Very good. Let's continue with David Interian. Okay, David, example 9. Please read the sentence and decide.
Okay. A letter was written to her some days ago. Is passive.
Okay, thank you. That was excellent. And let's see the last example. Okay, I want to hear Mitzi. Please, Mitzi, tell me what's the correct. First of all, read the sentence and then tell me the right answer. Active or passive?
Okay, teacher. The black bike is being repaired at the moment. I think it's passive, teacher.
It's passive. Okay, great job. Thank you for your answers. Guys, let's check all the sentences and tell me if you can see any mistake. Okay, right now you have 10 seconds to identify if there is a mistake or not. Okay, read all the sentences and tell me if one of the sentences is incorrect. Okay, everybody, are all the sentences correct? Yes or no? Oh, Abel, hello.
I think in the number 5, it is active.
We have lost our keys. Okay, active. Okay, we will change it. Thank you, Abel. That was a great correction. Any other example, guys, or everything is correct?
The sentences 2 is passive.
Sentence 2.
Yes.
Is it passive?
Passive.
Okay, very good. Thank you, David. That was a great option. Okay, any other example, guys, or can we check? Okay, everybody, we will check together right now if they are all correct. Let's check together. Okay, look at this, everybody. You answered 8 tasks out of 10 correctly. That's 80%. Okay, guys, even though we corrected 2 sentences, there were still 2 sentences that were not correct. Let's see why. Cricket is played in Australia. We say it was active, but the correct answer was passive. Look at the clue, everybody. Is played is passive. And let's see the other example. You might see dolphins here. We said that it was passive, but it was active. The right answer is active because we say might see. Okay, might see, modal plus infinitive is active. Guys, I want to ask all of you, how can you identify a sentence in passive and in active voice? What's the clue you have to identify? Passive voice. How do you identify that it's a passive voice sentence?
The object is the beginning of the sentence.
The object is in the beginning of the sentence. Okay, object is at the beginning of the sentence. Okay, that's good.
Teacher, also the verb form, the conjugation.
Very good, Emily. What are the verbs we have to use in a passive voice sentence?
Past participle.
Okay, very good. Only past participle?
And simple past. We use present perfect. We using have and has.
Do we use have and has in passive voice?
Not
no,
really.
Sorry, not teacher. It was my mistake.
Oh, okay. So we don't use have or has. But what else do we use?
You use was and were.
Okay, what is was and were?
Verb be.
Verb to be, very good. So, guys, I want you to remember this part. Two important things you have to pay attention to is the verb to be and past participle. If a sentence use verb to be and past participle, it's a passive voice sentence. Look at examples. In example number 1, guys, could you tell me, Adelina, where is verb to be in sentence number 1? Boys like to play soccer. Where is the verb to be? Adelina?
Verb to be. um, I don't know, teacher.
Okay, let's see. Armando, where is the verb to be in sentence number 1?
Boys like to play soccer. To play?
Is to play the verb to be?
No,
No, is like.
Is like verb to be?
There isn't.
There is no verb to be in that sentence.
There is no verb to be in number 1. Why we don't have verb to be in sentence number 1?
Because it's an active sentence.
It's inactive and it's in
Nothing.
simple present. Okay, simple present using verbs, using actions, right? Because in some cases we can use the verb to be in active sentences, but you know the structure is different, okay? Now, look at the second example. This room has been painted blue. Where is the verb to be, Katia?
There is no verb to be.
Isn't there verb to be?
Oh, yes, has been.
Very
I'm
good.
sorry.
Has been is verb to be, right? But is conjugated in a present perfect. Okay.
Mhm.
This room has been. What is the next verb after being? What's the next verb?
Painted.
Painted,
Painted.
right? And what form of the verb is painted? Is it in present, past, or past participle?
Past participle, teacher.
Very good. It's past participle. You see, we use verb to be and past participle. The same, everybody, in example number 3. Verb to be, verb in past participle. The same, everybody, in example 4. Verb to be, verb in past participle.
Teacher.
I consider the most difficult thing, everybody, is to identify what's the right form of the verb to be. Because as you can see, we can use verb to be in past participle, in present perfect, in past perfect, in present, in simple present, or in simple past. Okay. Yes, Katia?
So it doesn't matter the way how the sentence present the verb be. Just we have to be focused that the next verb is in past participle next to a conjugated verb be, and that is like the main rule for a passive voice.
That's right. Okay. Verb be can be in any form. As I mentioned, it can be in present perfect or past perfect or future perfect or in future. So it doesn't matter. What you have to remember and keep in mind is that we use verb to be and past participle verbs. For example, guys, I want to show you example 8. It says, they were singing a song in the lesson yesterday. Question for all of you. Is there any form of the verb to be? Yes or no? Sentence 8. They were singing a song in the lesson yesterday. Is there any form of the verb to be?
Where?
Yes, where?
Very good. We have where. So, oh, but look at the answer. It's an active sentence. Why this sentence is not in passive voice?
Because the next verb is conjugated in gerund.
Very good. The next verb is not a past participle verb. In this case, it's a verb in ing, it's a gerund, or it's a present participle verb, right? So as you see, we have to remember this. The most important thing in the structure, in the passive voice structure, is the verb to be, for you to remember, okay, for you to remember what's the right structure that it has to follow to be a passive voice sentence is verb to be in any form, in any tense, and the verb in past participle, okay? Well, guys, even though this is kind of difficult, I consider that it's not that difficult, but it's confusing, okay? It's confusing mostly if we have both, like both options, right? Passive voice and also active voice. In that case, it's confusing. But remember, passive voice always uses verb to be in any tense and the verb in past participle. Okay, guys, I want you to practice another activity. I don't know if we have enough time to finish with this, but I would like everybody, I would like you go to some breakout rooms. Let me see. Yes, okay, so let's go to breakout rooms, everybody, and practice the following activity. Let me see. Okay. Let me share my screen. As you can see, guys, this is the following activity. Get in pairs. In this case, guys, we won't get in pairs. We will work in groups of 3 people. And the next, our next instruction is find out information about culture in El Salvador. You can talk about festivities, traditional food, Salvadorian folk music, tourist places, or famous people who were born here. Use passive voice and adjectives to describe, okay? Please, guys, try to focus in one of the topics. For example, guys, if you start talking about festivities, continue talking about festivities. And if you can talk about one festivity, it's okay, guys, because in El Salvador, we have a lot of festivities. In every city, there is a festivity, a specific festivity, or there are more than 3. Okay, so try to focus in one topic and in one festivity. Traditional food, we can talk about many, okay? Also Salvadorian folk music, tourist places, try to focus in one, or famous people, try to focus on one person, right? Try to use passive voice, for example, if you talk about fireballs in the Japa, you can say this activity is held every year and you can tell me the date for that celebration. I don't remember too much about that celebration, but try to speak about this, right? Okay, everybody, you will have 5 minutes, I guess, or yeah, 5 minutes approximately to speak about this topic, okay? This activity with your partners. And then everybody, I want to hear some of you participating in the class, okay? If it is possible, maybe 1 or 2 groups. So guys, do you have any question before we start the activity?
No, teacher.
Okay, if there are no questions, guys, remember, talk about Salvadorian culture. I hope to see you in 5 minutes. Bye-bye.
Ujú.
La de septiembre. ¿O
Ujú.
cuál?
Yes.
Sí.
Entonces, Independence, ¿cómo es? Independence Day.
Independence Day.
Ah, Independence Day. Independence Day.
Independence Day is the most significant for Salvadorians, which follow September 15. Okay,
Ajá.
and this day we can see parades and fireworks and other patriotic displays.
The symbols patriots. No, ¿cómo es? ¿Cómo? Symbol of patriot symbol in
Patriot
the
symbols.
patriot symbols in the different no, in all places.
Ataco, Honduras, and other towns come to visit the center of Aguachapán. So yeah, it sounds fun. So maybe one year I will go with my family. So have you been in any festival in El Salvador?
Maybe in my case, in my downtown, for example, Mexicano City, during the year, the mayor, for example, celebrate the Yuca festival, right? It's a typical food too, but you can find different kind food in this festival because you can buy candies, handcraft candies. You can eat all kind of food here, corn, and in our country the name in español is elote loco, right? You can find different kind of food in this festival here in
The cheerleaders,
Okay.
the cheerleaders practice for the moment at the September 15. They use a uniform and an instrument for ay, ¿cómo era el desfile? For the parade on the street because the day is a traditional independent days in this country.
Okay.
Okay. What about you?
I don't know. Maybe all the students prepared to um, with different activities. For example, make or making a towel or I don't know, como los abanderados. I don't know.
Ah,
I don't know.
Los mejores
Estudiantes. The best student.
sorry, standard bearers.
Okay, hello
The
everyone.
best students.
Hi.
Hi, teacher.
Hello. Well, everybody, I could hear to some of your opinions, some of the facts you were talking about in your groups, but I would like to hear one of you maybe over here in the class. So I would like to listen to Luis. Luis, tell me a number, 1, 2, or 3?
2.
2. Okay, now please, Luis, tell me another number, 1, 2, or 3?
3.
3. Okay. Let's see if Armando can share a little bit about what they talk. Okay, Armando?
Okay.
What
Okay,
did you
teacher.
discuss about Salvadorian culture?
I select the band, the peace band. In this month, the student prepare all years in the instrument. They drum, practice the drum, and the cheerleaders and practice, and the standard bearers, abanderados, standard bearers are selected because they are the best students, and they participate in the parade in September 15.
Okay, very good. Getting ready for Friday's celebration, Friday's festivities. Pretty good. That's something important and really nice. Thank you for sharing, Armando, those important things or those important aspects of Independence Day. Because nowadays, well, the marching brass band is important in that celebration. Also, the cheerleaders, they are also important. They are also part of this important celebration to commemorate that important date. And well, as you mentioned, the people who goes with the flags, they are also important, and they are taken into account because they are supposed to be the best students. So it's great to hear some of those points, everybody. I could hear another group, guys. As you can see, there are many things related to culture. I could hear one of the groups that were talking about crazy corn, elote loco. So that's good. Okay. So some other were talking about places or about people that was part of our history. It's pretty nice, guys. It's cool to speak about all those important details that are part of our culture and that are also part of Salvadorian history. Because of the time, guys, we won't be able to listen to more classmates, but I would like to ask you, please, guys, continue practicing at home, your speaking, and of course, everybody, your grammar activities. Remember, on the platform, we have to finish with Unit 3. Tomorrow, we start Unit 4. So please, guys, finish with all the activities in Unit 3. And I hope, guys, we can continue doing our best in tomorrow's class. If you don't have any question, any comment, guys, I want to say thank you because you came here and you practiced and you did your best. I hope to see you tomorrow, guys, and have a good night. Bye-bye, everybody.
Thank you.
Good night,
teacher.
teacher.
Bye-bye. Thank
You're
you.
welcome. Bye-bye. It was a pleasure.